Hey guys, my name's Thomas, if you didn't already know, and if you did already know, welcome back. In today's video, I've got a very special guest. This is Liz. Hi Liz! You've probably been seeing her plastered all over my Snapchat. That's because Liz is a very dear friend of mine actually. Where are you from, Liz?
I am from Canada.
Woo!
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who know, a year ago, well, it's actually 2 years ago we figured out, but 2 years ago I landed in Toronto, Canada, and decided to go and work at and whilst I was working at I met Liz.
Yay!
And how long were you working at for, Liz?
For about 5 years on and off at too long.
The serving game over in North America is freaking amazing. Like, it's nothing compared to Australia. So, like, tipping isn't really compulsory here in the southern hemisphere. And when you go over and see the other side of the world and how they do it there, you have a big potential to make a lot of money. And it's a lot different. People really have to work for that tip, don't they?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, I have that on my list actually.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay. So the purpose of today's video was not only to showcase my beautiful friend Liz, but I also wanted to give you guys an insight about what's cool on the southern hemisphere, because most of you guys are from the States and other parts of Europe. So I wanted to give you an insight on the top 10 things about the southern hemisphere. Liz, you haven't been living in Australia, have you? You've been...
No, I've been in Auckland, New Zealand for the past 2 months. Just been in Australia, Gold Coast specifically, for 3 days.
What? 3 days, that's so long. Alright, well let's get into the top 10 things about the southern hemisphere. Because Liz has been spending a lot of time in New Zealand, a lot of them will be about New Zealand, but there are a few about Australia, right Liz? Mm-hmm. Good. What is number 1 on your top 10 list?
Okay, so I have this written down so I don't forget anything. Number 1 is wildlife.
Okay.
I came here kind of expecting that I was going to see like crazy giant insects and all that stuff, but I haven't really seen anything like that. But one thing I was very surprised about was birds.
Okay, well what's your favorite bird that you've seen?
You know, it's the pelican. It is so crazy.
I'm gonna put a pelican right here. Probably one of the shots that Liz got.
Yeah.
She was like, whoa! Because they are literally massive birds. Their wingspan is like longer than my whole body. It's crazy. Okay, cool. So number 1 is wildlife and birds specifically.
Yeah, so number 2, kind of like segueing from wildlife, is I kind of didn't do my research before I came over here, and I didn't realize this was like a subtropical area. I mean, obviously it's subtropical. So, I mean, I didn't expect to see so many palm trees. Like, the humidity was like also a bit of a shock. I mean, I normally have like straight hair in Canada, and here my hair is like
welcome to my world.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, and Auckland specifically, I didn't know it was so volcanic, and there's so many volcanoes. There's like 50 volcanoes there. So that was really cool, yeah.
So would you say number 2 is landscape? Like the actual difference in what everything looks like?
I would say number 2 is climate. My number 3 is landscape. So like for landscape, what I mean is like in Canada, you have to travel like thousands of miles to see difference in landscapes. Like, you know, you get to the prairies and it's just flat forever. You get to the mountains and that's like the only part where there's mountains.
Yeah.
Whereas like here, it's like there's a beach and then half an hour later you're like in a mountain. You're just like... Yeah, it's crazy. It's
cool. The place that we're in right now, the Gold Coast, is actually referred to as a mini version of Los Angeles. It's kind of like, it's classified as a city, but everything is really spread out. So you definitely need a car, but we've got beach this side, we've got mountains that side, we've got city here, and yeah, it really varies, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. What's number 4?
So number 4 is New Zealand people and Australian people. They're much more like laid back. Like you go into a grocery store and people are just walking around in their bare feet and stuff. You never see that in Canada. The whole attitude is just like really like, yeah, whatever, do your thing, and it's like really refreshing. I actually think Canadians are nicer, but maybe I haven't been here long enough.
Yeah.
But
brutal.
Yeah, but yeah, they're definitely like Canadians are definitely more high-strung than New Zealanders and Australians. Yeah.
We're like, yeah, chill.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's nice. Number 5. This is because I'm in Auckland specifically to study.
Yeah.
And so number 5 is kind of has to do about university. University is so much better here than it is back home. At least I think so. I mean, to get a degree, it takes half the amount of time. Like, professors are much more personable and helpful, whereas like back home it's almost like a big competition, and it's just so stressful, and here it's like so relaxing.
While we're on that topic as well, so 5 is university. So what about people that are looking to study abroad and want to do something like you're doing? What exactly are you doing? What's the program?
So I'm in an exchange program. So my home university, I like pay tuition to that university, and then someone in Auckland like pays tuition to
swap with you.
Yeah, and then we change places. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And how did the living arrangements go?
Well, you could like I could have gone into student residence, but I decided to house hunt on my own, and it was actually very challenging because yeah.
So if you could have done it differently, would you have taken the other option then?
Yeah, I would have gone with student housing, because then I would have had more time to like explore and have fun rather than like trying to find a place to live.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so that's number 5. University rocks.
Yeah.
That's really cool that you can do an exchange program like that.
Yeah. So we're on to number 6.
Yeah.
Number 6 is the Indigenous people and the Indigenous culture of New Zealand. It's amazing like how respectful the like European settlers are of like the Maori people.
Okay.
And everywhere you go, it's kind of everything's Maori is ingrained in everything, and it's so refreshing because
very equal.
Yeah, because unfortunately, like back home in Canada, there's this tension between like the Indigenous people and Canadians, and it's probably Canada's biggest issue. And so it's very, very nice coming to somewhere where people like coexist so peacefully together.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I've actually never been to New Zealand. Do you know how heartbreaking that is? Liz has been there and I haven't. Oh my god. We definitely, with your Canadian and the white settlers and the Indigenous settlers, we definitely have that problem as well. Like, there's still a little bit of a feud going on there that needs to be settled down. But that's really nice to hear that they've kind of sorted it out in New Zealand. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah. Number 7 is New Zealand is very backpacker friendly.
Okay.
Which is nice because in Canada it's kind of like there isn't like people traveling through the way they do in New Zealand, probably because, you know, the whole landscape thing where it's kind of all plain like for thousands of kilometers.
Yeah.
But like there's so much more hostels, there's so much more like tourist travel things.
There's a little bit more accessible for travelers to get around and live. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Cool, I like that. Actually, I did notice, not so much in Canada because I didn't go backpacking, but I did backpack a little bit in America, and I noticed when Gisela and I were on the road, we didn't really have a lot of stops. Like, we had a caravan. Well, not a caravan, it was like a camper van, and we found it really hard to find stops where we could just stop in and park our camper van. Like, they were very rare, so that's actually good, isn't it?
Yeah. Number 8 is the coffee. Oh my gosh. In Canada, it's like everywhere you go, it's like drip coffee or instant coffee, and it's so disgusting.
The percolator.
Yeah, the percolator. I like never drink coffee, and then here it's like, you know, I'm waiting for like a phone plan, and then I get offered espresso, and like
I haven't even been offered that. What?
Yeah, and it's like I've just become addicted to caffeine over here because it's just so amazing and delicious.
Well, it's like when people say coffee, that's the coffee they mean. They mean espresso. They don't mean
exactly. Yeah.
But it's kind of like in Canada, it's just kind of like a normal thing, isn't it? Like you just. Oh, Tim Hortons.
Yeah, like you go in somewhere and you're like, can I have a latte? And they're like, we don't serve lattes. It's like, and then you never find that here.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Number 9 is I find like a lot of like restaurants and grocery stores and all that sort of stuff are very self-service. Like for example, with restaurants, like you go up to the counter, you order your food, you take a number, you sit down. If you want water, you get that from the counter too. In Canada, like, you never really like order from the counter. You always sit down and wait to be served.
Yeah.
At first I was like, I didn't like that I had to like do things myself. I was like, I want to just sit down and get good service and like, tip them for their service. Here it's actually nicer because you know, you're not like stressed out because you're like depending on another person to do all this stuff for you. It's like, again, like more laid back. Like you're just like, yeah, whatever, I'll do myself. Don't stress. The no tipping culture because you're doing it yourself actually I think is
Well, and if
better.
it's not expected,
Yeah.
you know, nobody's really upset at the end
Yeah.
of it. I mean, when in Rome, you do what the Romans do. So, like in North America, I can understand getting very cross with people if they're not going to tip. I remember getting so cranky at some people when we were working.
Yeah, but that's because the culture is you're supposed to serve them, and so I mean, if someone serves me here and does a good job, I still tip them.
Yeah.
But it's also nice just being like, oh, I don't want to like have like a chat with my server. I just want to go to the counter, order my food, sit down.
Boom, pay it and get up and leave. We did that for lunch today, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It's lovely.
Amazing. Okay, what is number 10?
Okay, so number 10, this is kind of like about traveling in general.
Okay.
Because this is the first time I've ever like lived outside of Canada, and it's really, really cool seeing Canada from the outside.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's neat that I'm like seen as exotic, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, where's your accent from?" And like, yeah, I'm sure you experience that when you're in Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. People just want to know about you. They just want to know everything, like your accent. They want to listen to it. Do you get called? You get called American a lot, don't you?
I do, yeah. Which actually, I mean, I don't get offended or anything. It's because I mean, America is way bigger than Canada, so people just assume that, you know, yeah. But it's really cool to like see Canada from the, and I feel like an ambassador for Canada almost. Like when people meet me, I like have to do the country
represent.
Yeah. So that's been really cool to kind of you know, see how people see Canada, and it's normally all good things.
Yeah, Canadians are always perceived really friendly and polite and
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah. So I mean, like
Just like Liz. It's exactly what she is.
Yeah. So I mean, with that point, I just mean like, it's really good to kind of like get out of your country and just sort of like see what it's like from the outside, and then when you go back, you have a new perspective.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in general, traveling just makes you grow. Do you feel like, even though you've only been away from home for 3 months, do you feel like you've already grown?
No, I do. Yeah.
It's just automatic. You are put in a situation where you have to be open to making friends. Otherwise, you're going to be lonely. You're just going to not have anything. You're not going to have fun. So it's a necessity to really be open-minded to everything that you take in and see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, Liz, thank you so much for coming on my channel. I'm about to announce that. Liz and I, 1 year ago exactly, it's probably like a year and a month, Liz and I spent 3-4 nights in New York City, and we actually did a vlog, but I never released the vlog on my channel, and at that time, my channel was only at about 1,000 subscribers, and I was like, Liz, we've got 1,000, blah, blah, blah. And I was really excited about it, and it's just so fun to have met up with Liz again a year later, and just the fact that we're still friends after a year, you know, like we've been separated for so long, that's what traveling does for you as well. It really bonds you with people. So yeah, I'm just really glad. And if you guys want to go and watch our New York City vlog that we did a year ago but I never released, it's going to be available just after this video ends. So thanks again, Liz. Give me a hug.
Tommy!
We're probably going to watch this in another year and be like, So that's all we got time for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If any of you are considering traveling, make sure you do it. Look into it. If you've got questions, ask them below. I'll ask Liz if you've got questions for her. I'll make sure she'll reply to me, and then I'll reply to you. And if you want to follow Liz and watch her traveling adventures, follow her at Listagram with a 1, right? It's going to be sliding in right about here near her titties. Alright, thanks, Liz. Just to exit the video, what I always do is go, wah! Bang. Oh. Yeah, and then I do a clap, and then there's a gunshot. So, do you want to do my clap today?
Yeah. Do I go, wah?
Yeah, or you can go. Alright, bye.
Apparently it has to be late at night when it's not as much traffic going through, when they're not annoyed.
So, do you guys remember this iconic photo with all these lads sitting on that Philippine thing? Well, apparently this top of the rock building is where that was originally taken, like way back when. I don't know when it was. And they're reenacting the actual photo over there.